What's going on, guys? Welcome to the video. So I just got back from the Goodwill Bins. I got a decent haul across most categories, clothing, hard goods, etc. So I'm going to give you comps of everything I found so you'll know and give you ideas of things to look for. But I'm also going to share my thought process that goes into as I find each item, whether it's a keeper, whether it's worth looking up comps, or whether it's a throwback. Now there's a few things that are important when you're sourcing for reselling. First of all, you do not want to shop with your personal taste.
Yeah, this is a good one.
Don't do it, because there's been times, and you can ask anybody that has had years of reselling experience, have you ever had something that you thought was cool or looked good and you thought it would sell right away and it sat forever? So take out the personal taste. Don't think something, when I hear someone say, oh, that's cute.
This is a bag that just goes over the dress.
They're nice.
I really like this.
And they put it in their bag. I've seen it in videos. Reselling is a numbers game, and a numbers game only. You can't try to determine what people out there in the wild or in the world are going to buy. Numbers game. How much does it cost you as a reseller to buy? What are the comps? How many are listed? How many are sold? It's going to determine close to how long it's going to take you to sell it. Of course, variables like pricing and patterns and colors and stuff, sizing, and what is your profit margin going to be on that item? Is it worth holding on to for a long time if it's a slow seller but you're going to make a good amount of money? Or is it worth picking up because it's going to sell real quick but you might make 10 or 12 bucks on it? So those are the things you need to think about when you're sourcing. All right, let's start with some smaller hard goods. First item is a hat. Hats aren't big money makers. On average, they're going to sell $10 to $20, but you can usually get them cheap, $1 or less. And it's all about branding. Obviously, sports, whether it's professional or collegiate, all have big fan followings, so that's something to always look for. Automotive, such as this BMW hat, BMW, Mercedes, Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, those are all going to sell. Branding, such as like Caterpillar, John Deere, and other brands that are top names. That's what you want to look for in hats. All right, I picked up 3 belts today, and I've sold belts. I don't try to keep a lot in stock, but I always have a few, and they usually again selling at $10, $20, some even more, depending on the brand and style. This first one has the flags, kind of like the preppy style belt, cloth with the strap around it, American flags all the way across. And this is a Nautica brand. So just as the fact of the way it was, in good condition with the flags, for me, were to pick up, probably cost me 50 cents. And then it's a Nautica, so it adds a little brand name to it to help in the listing. All right, this belt is a Western style belt, studding, and it has a little embossing pattern around it. But what caught my eye was the buckle. I was going to remove the buckle itself, kind of like a Western with a star. And you gotta look at belts, because some belts have a removable buckle, where this is a snap. You can snap that right off and remove the buckle. This one is a snap. Some are fixed with a rivet. You can't remove the buckle. So at first I was gonna just take this buckle, but then I looked at the belt, unique with the studs, and it has an embossed pattern all the way around. And then I looked in the back, and it is a Guess brand, so it has a brand name to it, worth to pick up to sell. I could probably sell this belt separate from the buckle or as is together. All right, and this last belt, just a plain brown belt, no buckle, but right away, just when I saw it, I knew it was a holster belt, that it wasn't a typical dress belt. You can tell it's more durable and thicker. I turned it over and look on the back. Hopefully that shows up. Bianchi, that is like they make holsters and items for weapons and guns. So right away they're telling me that's an automatic pickup. All right, this is just a Ralph Lauren sunglass case, hard case, leather. I usually just pick some of these up and have them on hand for when I'm shipping eyeglasses or sunglass frames, because it makes the shipping easier and it gives it protection. But since this is a name brand, I just threw it in my bag, very lightweight. So that's my process on that one. And I figured, okay, by the name, maybe it'll sell for $10, $12, and that's going to pay for, half of my haul right there on a 50-cent item, if that, probably 25 cents. I found this Rawlings. This is a youth baseball glove. First thing I did was look at condition. Overall good, the leather's not cracking. Now baseball gloves, around the hand part, that little like edging, that's not leather, that's usually just an applied vinyl, and often you will see that peeling. What you do with that, don't worry about that. Take a soft bristle brush and brush it all off so it's not peeling anymore, and it's just a cloth under there, but it doesn't affect the glove. The rest of the glove is leather. This glove was in great condition, but I did look it up since it was youth, because some youth gloves are not worth any money, but this one happened to have comps in the 20s and a good sell-through rate. Alright, then I saw in the hard good bins this center hubcap for Chevrolet. There's the Chevy sign, and I didn't even comp it. My first thought right away is it's brand new, and automotive parts are expensive. So even if at worst case scenario it sells for 10 or 12 or 15 bucks, which I knew would be more, it's worth the grab. Okay, found a pair of these, I guess like outdoor water / sandals. The brand is by Jeep, J41, and the model is on the sticker inside, and it's Trish. Excellent condition. Zero wear to the bottoms. So has a brand name, not a big name when it comes to shoes, Jeep, but it is an outdoor type brand. Good condition. But these I had a comp, even though they're lightweight, and they got not a lot sold, not a lot listed, but for great condition, a lightweight pickup. So I picked them up. Cost probably $1.50 by weight, and even if I get 20 bucks, it's worth it. All right, the next item I found, which was a good one, I was actually in line waiting to check out, and about 20 feet away over in the corner, they have these shelves set up where they just put random, like, nicer items. I don't know the whole reason behind it. While I was in line, and I was like, oh my God, is that a Vitamix blender? But no, it turns out it's for a Ninja, but it's still, so I left line, went over and grabbed it. Checked it out, all good condition, no cracks. Had some scuffs, but that's okay. Now, this gives me options. So right away I knew it was a good brand, and I didn't have to comp it, but it gives me options. I can part it out, the lid, the blade part inside, and then the picture, or I could sell them all as one. So either way, they're like $15 to $20 per part, or $40 to $60 I'm seeing in comps for the whole unit. All right, now let's look at some clothing that I picked up today. Now, a lot of resellers do not like to mess with clothing. First of all, they say it's long tail. As someone who has probably 80% of their inventory clothing, nonsense. If you thrift smart, then clothing can move pretty quick. I often sell clothing that moves within a day to a week, 2 weeks, a month, out the door. You gotta look smart, and that is something that you always can't comp easily, like a hard good that you can scan a barcode, or a shoe that you can look up the exact model. Clothing comes in different colors and patterns that affects pricing, and often you're not going to find what you have, so you got to go by the brand and a generalized description, like polo, not polo brand, but polo shirt, or button down, and you kind of get a generalized, price range. So that's where you need to really think about, what am I paying, what's the generalized comps on it, what do they look like, what's your pattern, black or white, is it going to sell as good as a nice bright colored pattern, and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of things to take in consideration when you're doing clothing, but there's a lot of money to be made, because you could get clothing usually cheap, and some of them sell for, good dollars. All right, so let's take a look at this shirt. This is a women's shirt. I don't do a lot of women's clothing, so that right there made me hesitant. The brand is Columbia. Now, Columbia is an outdoor brand of clothing. Good quality brand for personal. Resell, some of it is not, so you got to be very careful with that. That's something you want to run comps on. Now, Columbia PFG, as this one says, is something you want to look for. So that upped the chances of me buying it when I first saw it. And then I saw the tag. Super Bonehead. That made it even more desirable. And that made me, once it was clean and in good condition, you know, I decided I was going to pick it up. So just a women's outdoor Columbia PFG Super Bonehead shirt. So if it was just Columbia, I would have left it behind. If it was Columbia PFG, I would have thought about it and comped it. Columbia PFG Super Bonehead, in my bag it goes. All right, next shirt I came across is this Polo Ralph Lauren. It's just like it's just a blue polo shirt, nothing special. So it's not the most desirable of colors, but it is a vintage shirt. That is the vintage polo logo, or tag I should say. XL, so it's a good desirable size. And I looked it over, good condition, so I picked it up. So it's a vintage Polo Ralph Lauren, which is a plus. It's a good size XL, that's a plus, and it's in great condition. It's another plus. So that's why I picked it up. And of course, you know, I went by my history. I've sold these before in the past. Again, not big money, but I'll list it for like, you know, $22, and I get offers of 15 to 18 usually, and that'll move it out for me. I don't need to hold on, you know. Clothing, you got to move them. So you got to get them cheap, and you got to sell them at a fair price. Next item I saw in the bin was this Caterpillar Cat Marine Power. Now, I didn't know what it was. It was in the corner of the bin, and the way it was folded and rolled, all I saw was some black, and I saw the logo sticking out. So I didn't know if it was a shirt or what. So when I pulled it out, I said, oh, it's a nice windbreaker. Perfect condition. It's got zip with the Velcro overflaps. It's got a packed hooded collar. So I said, okay, windbreaker, nothing special. Medium, nothing special, not the most desirable, but it does look big for a medium. Caterpillar, good branding. I looked at the back, it's vented, and it's got this really cool stitched Caterpillar logo spelled out on the rear of the collar. So that was really cool. So, lightweight, because it's a windbreaker, good branding, worth a pickup. Okay, so now here's something I had to put some thought process to determine whether I wanted to buy or not. Whenever I see flannel shirts, I always look at the logos or the labels, because some good brands make flannels. So when I looked at it, I saw a J. Crew tag. This green one was actually inside of that one. So someone like kind of, it was weird how it was. They were like inside of each other. So I said, okay, now if there was one, I would have had to comp it. J. Crew, solid brand, you know, in the preppy type. You could say it's, you know, like along the lines of like a Gap, but better. Not all J. Crew is worth picking up, but J. Crew has a solid name to it. So that was a plus. Flannel, some flannels do well, so that was an okay plus. But if there was one, I would have definitely comped it, and that would have helped me determine whether I wanted it or not. Right off the top of my head, I'm going to say, okay, a flannel J. Crew, you know, I could list it for 20, 22 bucks. I'm going to get $15, $18 at best for it. You know, you might even get a low offer of $12. Now, if I'm paying $1.50, $2, you know, is it worth for 10 bucks? Maybe. But since there was two of them, that made it even better, because that is a perfect bundle situation. Shirts like this, like Brooks Brothers dress shirts, are another example that I like to bundle. If I find two of the same exact size, different colors, even if it's the same, you know, something like this, you don't want two of the same. But if it's a white dress shirt, that's fine, or a blue dress shirt. But since there was two, same size, same brand, different color patterns, I said, okay, not the heaviest of flannels, so it might cost me, you know, $3 to $4. I'll bundle them. I'll list it for like 28 bucks, and I'll make $20 to $25. All right, and this clothing item was actually a throwback. Someone must have had it because it was on the very end of the aisle where I check before I leave the bins always, and then there's the big piles on the ends. because once everybody grabs their armfuls, they go off to the side, go through everything, then they throw back things. And I often find good stuff. So this was surprisingly a throwback. Miami Heat hoodie, good condition. It's a size medium, which isn't the best, but again, professional sports. Miami Heat is in the playoffs right now. Good time to list this, even though it's a hoodie. And the brand, Mitchell and Ness. All right, so out of those things, some things I found in the rush, right on the whistle, when you start digging through. Some things I found after the crowd left away, and I took my time and go through and look at labels. Some things I found on the end were throwbacks, like the shoes, the Jeep, and the sweatshirt. And then an item like the blender thing, I just happened to be online looking around at the shelves, often 20 feet away, and there it was. So keep an open mind when you're sourcing. Don't be so focused on one thing. Check out things. If something piques your interest, look it up. But don't use your personal taste to shop. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.